A graduate of the University of Detroit, Bill Storen was an All-American fullback, team captain, and had won a co-national championship with the Titan football team. At the conclusion of his storied playing career, Storen became an assistant coach at Detroit under head coach Gus Doret, the former Notre Dame football legend who threw the first pass in school history and went on to write the quintessential book called The Forward Pass. With the backing of Coach Doret, Storen was offered the head coach job at St. Michael's College in Toronto, having entered a team in the Senior Ontario Rugby Football Union, the forerunner to the CFL, where the forward pass rule had just been sanctioned into the game 2 years earlier in 1931. Fellow teammate from Detroit, John Metris, also accompanied Storen as a player-coach, and the two began their Canadian football coaching careers together. The introduction of the forward pass by the Canadian Rugby Football Union in 1931 had incorporated rules for passing into the intercollegiate game across Canada. As a result of the forward pass, the ball became narrower, and the name of the sport was changed to rugby football in what many considered to be an Americanization of the game. Meanwhile, at Western, Mustang head coach Joe Breen had submitted his resignation at the conclusion of the 1934 football season. The University of Western Ontario immediately hired Bill Storen, the American, well-versed in the passing game, in an attempt to open up the very conservative Mustang offensive attack. Storen, as the new head coach, did much to revolutionize Mustang football with a razzle-dazzle, wide-open style of offense, which was a sharp contrast to the methodical Joe Breen approach. Western became known for its flicker play as the ball moved downfield like a baton in a relay race. Storen persuaded Western Athletic Director J. Howard Crocker to hire an assistant coach. That's when his University of Detroit teammate, John Metris, became the line coach and coach of the junior varsity Colts. The team only won one game in 1935, but improved to 3-3 the next year. In 1937, Storen's aerial circus became a hot topic in the rugby conversation across Canada. The 1938 team became the first winning team at Western since 1931, advancing to the Yates Cup final. In 1939, the Western Mustang football team played in unique times under trying circumstances. The opening of their season coincided with the declaration of war by the British Empire upon the Nazis on September 3, 1939. With the impending call to military service looming, the young men of the 39 squad put together a last magical season. Led by head coach Bill Storen, the Mustangs broke the Varsity Bowl jinx and gained their first victory over Toronto in 8 years. They were acclaimed as the greatest forward pass team that the Senior Intercollegiate Football Union had ever produced, during an era in football where the ground game still dominated play. In the final game, with an undefeated season and the Yates Cup championship on the line, the Mustangs faced the Queen's Golden Gales. Down by 7 points with 10 minutes remaining, the Mustangs scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, the winner coming off a blocked punt deep in Queen's territory with only 2 minutes remaining on the clock. An undefeated 8-0 record and a Yates Cup championship, the 1939 team showed the courage and determination exemplified by their head coach, Bill Storen. At the conclusion of the season, all intercollegiate competitions were suspended for the duration of the war, and Bill Storen returned to Detroit to work in the family business in order to aid in the war effort. Legendary Queens head coach Frank Tyndall said of Storen, "He knows how to use his wonderful stars, and despite having his coaching career cut short by World War II, he set Western football on a path for success that has become unrivaled in Canadian intercollegiate football history." Bill Storen, a Mustang legend.